Ford, General Motors, Stellantis, Volkswagen, all of them have fired thousands and thousands of staff over the past 12 months. Now, Volkswagen is about to join the UAW, or America's biggest auto union. That will mean that most of the biggest car makers in America will be part of this new union. Experts are predicting, though, that this will decimate jobs in America. And the reason they're saying this is because of what the CEOs of those companies have said. For example, the CEO of Ford has revealed that it's now costing them around $350,000 per full-time worker, and that they simply cannot sustain that amount of money. As a result, experts say automakers will be pushed to replace workers with robots. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Well, this isn't great, is it? I mean, we saw this coming, though. China, we know BYD, NIO, some car factories in the US, they have actually deployed robots. And I'm talking, like humanized robots, not ones that are, particularly sentient or intelligent. We're not talking about here, robots that have some sort of artificial intelligence, artificial general intelligence. Not at that level yet, but they do have robots there working there. They look like robotic people, and they are working in BYD's production lines. Now, the US government now knows that China has its plan. China actually publicly announced its plan. A few months ago, it said it wants to flood the world with billions of robots. It will manufacture them in China, and it will actually use them to produce all the world's parts, goods, cars, everything, iPads, phones, everything. It's going to be made in China using robots. Well, now experts are saying the big three automakers in America will probably actually do the same thing. Henry Ford revolutionized the way cars were built when he introduced the production line process. But that process relied entirely on humans at the time. Now people and machines share the workload in car factories, and they've done so for decades. Automakers are pretty well on the verge of shifting the balance of production to robots and sending human beings home. We're fallible. We call in sick. We bring up crazy lawsuits. Some of them are legit. Most of them are probably not. We fight. We argue. We need sick pay. We only work 8 hours a day, or maybe 10, and then we complain about it. Robots have none of those problems. Now, advancing technology will make it possible to replace more human workers with more machines over the coming years. But it's not only the fact that the technology will be available to automakers that's going to lead them down that route. Ford have already admitted that they are looking into having humanized robots work in their factories. Another driving force, though, is the need to recover the cost of the recent UAW battle with the current workforce, who might be feeling very pleased with their newly boosted pay conditions today without realizing that they have hastened their own demise. Let's be honest here, guys. This all sounds dramatic, and it sounds like I'm saying I told you so, but I'm not. The reality is here that unfortunately these negotiations went too far. The UAW asked for too much, and the truth is car factories, they have to make a profit to continue, or they have to at least break even. That can't happen. That can't happen when your competition is Tesla, 1, your competition is going to be using robotics, 2, and you're paying your staff an average of $350,000 per worker, when similar workers in China are costing, probably including all those things I mentioned, around $30,000. You're just simply uncompetitive. The Wall Street Journal reported that rising labor costs will speed up the adoption of automated technology in car plants, explaining that the unexpectedly high cost of negotiating contracts will add $1,000 to the cost of building a new Ford during the lifespan of those new contracts, which are due to expire in 4 years' time, and around $500 to the cost of creating a new Chevy. These estimates are well below what they really will be. I think that's the media wanting to appease its donors, meaning General Motors and Ford. The global automotive industry installed 136,000 new industrial robotic units in 2022, according to data from the International Federation of Robotics. And if that sounds like a lot, well, that's because only the electronics industry installed more, says the Wall Street Journal. And that's bad news for UAW members. Though the report suggests human operators at auto plants won't all be laid off, just, they won't be replaced when they retire or when they leave. One other factor that might push the industry to greater automation is that we're in the middle of a plant building boom as automakers look to create new battery and EV factories. When they do, they want to do things in a new way, in a more efficient way. They don't want to keep losing money on electric cars. They're all losing money on EVs. We know they're losing between $6,000 to $350,000 per car they build, depending on the manufacturer. Ford, $35,000 average last year. The industry average, experts say, is around $6,000 loss per car. I think that's probably well below what they're really losing. It's simpler to install robots in a new facility than to add them to an existing one where there's a hefty changeover cost to deal with. While robots don't need holidays, pension pay, bathroom breaks, and they don't complain or argue, they aren't without their downsides. They're expensive to buy, people need to program them and maintain them, and they might cause quality problems at first. But I believe that the alternative, which is going bankrupt, means that robots, well, Ford and General Motors and Stellantis, they really have no choice but to go down that challenging route. It's different, it's new. But if they want to be alive and they want to stay alive and they don't want to be disrupted and become the next Kodak, well, the writing, unfortunately, is on the wall.